Hello and welcome back to One More for the Road. Unfortunately, I lost the audio for my introductions, but this episode we're going to interview George Peter, the voice actor for Richard Allen in Trails in the Sky the First, the remake of the original Trails in the Sky First chapter. So please, sit down and enjoy. Before we jump fully back in, what is your brunch of choice today?
Today I got some soup and salad. Or sorry, excuse me, soup and sandwich.
Oh,
I got some cheddar broccoli soup with a steak and blue cheese sandwich.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
There's a deli near me that does an absolutely incredible tomato bisque and
Ooh,
a
okay.
pastrami and a hot pastrami sandwich. It is decadent.
I'm so glad I ate before
like
this.
Dude, yeah, same.
Yeah, it's still a little bit early for me. It's about 10:45 in the morning. So
Mhm.
yeah. I gotta get my munchies in.
Oh yeah.
All right, but we're good to hop in.
All right. So, before we get fully into our topic, we always start our episodes with a top 3 list. Are you ready for today's top 3?
No.
Oh no, you should
Sure.
be. All right, George. What are, and we'll all give the answers. What are your top 3 hottest Trails villains?
Ooh, okay. So, man. I mean, it's spoilers, I guess.
No worries.
Spoilers. Definitely, Richard is one of them, but he
What?
becomes a
Of
good
course.
guy.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But
What?
he becomes
It's
a good guy.
crazy that
So
he counts.
Yeah.
he kind of like is a half point. But
All right,
I
we'll
would
allow
say,
anyone who was an antagonist at any point.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Richard is
We'll allow
definitely
it.
one of them, especially with the glow up that he got in this game. Oh my goodness, he's
Oh,
hot.
he does look. He did
Yeah.
blow up real good.
But I would also say, I'm forgetting his name. I think it's Harwood. Wait, no. Felix, I don't think you're up to this game, but from Daybreak 1, Harwood.
Oh,
Yeah.
Um,
I won't
Okay.
say specifically
all right, yeah.
what he's about for Felix's sake, but he is a very attractive man. And then I would probably say,
Everyone in
like-
Daybreak is way too attractive.
yeah, that is true and real.
I'm looking forward to it.
But then I would also say, like, I guess we're under the assumption that she's a villain, but like, from what we've seen of the Grandmaster, she's gorgeous. Like
Hey.
Yeah, that is true. gotten one
she's got a
glimpse.
whole vibe that I'm
Mhm.
kind of digging.
Yeah.
She's got like the shawl and the long flowy clothes and the long beautiful bluish white hair and
Mhm.
so pretty. So pretty.
She does have this ethereal quality that I am a big fan of.
Yeah, and I think it's also the presence too. Plus she's voiced by Allegra Clark, who always does fantastic
Oh.
with like every role.
That's
that they
all I
do.
needed to
Yeah.
hear. That's all I
dude,
needed to hear.
Dude, Felix,
Yeah.
you are in for a treat.
I'm so
When
excited.
here's the problem though, you do have to basically 100% reverie
I'm
to get
going-
the one good scene.
I'm so glad we live in an age where YouTube exists because there's no
Yeah. I'll also say honorable mention to Amalthea as well, who is also, Richard's right hand for a multitude of reasons.
I will
I'll
say-
get into this later, but I hated her when I was playing through the games.
Initially, same here. She did like at one point grow on me a bit, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think she's in that like just like, eager to please kind of like mean way. Like
Yeah.
she's literally just everything is for Richard. Like I remember in the remake, without going too much into spoilery territory, there's a couple of times where she's sharing a scene with Richard, as as she does, because those two are like, paired together. And Estelle and Joshua come up and are basically whisking Richard away. And the expression that she gives when she is dismissed, she was so angry.
Ooh.
She was like, she had this like look of disgust. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So you really just want to be by Richard's side 24/7. I see you.
I am really looking forward to getting through more of this game because there's so many little scenes, little details that I feel are going to be just so much better.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, George, those are excellent choices. Felix, do you have a compilation for this yet?
Yeah, I got a few I can toss in there. So I think they're all fairly obvious, maybe. All right. My first one actually is going to be Crow. Crow is actually pretty undeniably attractive, I think. Especially, well, granted, I guess by this point he's like changed, but especially about like CS3, CS4, I would say. He's got on the
Don't you mean Azure Siegfried?
Yeah, there we go, the Azure Siegfried fit. If you haven't gotten through the Cold Steel Games, fans, then like you'll get there when you get there. But
Crow for sure. I can't see Crow as a villain, man. He's just too cool.
I understand.
But I feel it.
I understand. Yeah. I put Vita on the list for sure. She had me at welcome to Radio Trista. I was like, oh, whoever this voice is, thank you. And then we meet her, and I was like, thank you again.
Fun fact, because George, you would not know this, but the intro music for this podcast is Abend Time.
Yes.
For a reason.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Too good. God.
It's so good.
And then my last one, kind of a bit of a toss up, but I think I'm actually gonna go with Maria Bell.
Maria Bell was on my list as well. Yeah. She is extremely attractive and extremely crazy.
Yeah.
And while she does have terrible aim, she ticks a lot of boxes for me, I'd say.
Okay, all right. We're learning Aries taste here.
Oh, it's very easy to get to that because you're also see my second one in my list would be the Lance Maiden because it's just intimidating women. The whole list is just women who are very intimidating.
Very nice
for reasons. Yeah. The third one I have to think about.
Shout out to for again another Daybreak villain, Viola.
Oh my God.
I know the name.
They brought the melanin. I was like, yeah.
I was going to say either Scarlet or Viola for my third. Scarlet's just great.
Oh my god.
So many villains become Felix. Daybreak is going to just completely
I'm going to be living in Daybreak is what I'm hearing.
It's a time, man.
Oh, yes. Say no more.
It's a time. There are some baffling decisions that I would love to talk to George about at some point. But we you know what? When we get to the Daybreak episode and Felix, in 4 to 8 business years, when Felix can actually beat Cold Steel 5.
Cold Steel 5. I love it.
Then we'll talk about Daybreak.
I'm so ready.
But awesome. See, we got a top 3. We're all revved up. So let's start talking about Trails in the Sky. The first question.
Yes.
And this is important. When they remake Trails in the Sky the Third, will it just be called Third Chapter?
Oh,
no comment.
That is okay. And that was kind of a joke question. It's just something that's been like, wait, if they do the first and the second, they already
Right.
have the third. It
Right.
has to be called
The
third chapter.
real answer is I have no clue because I
wouldn't it
mean
be fun?
so I don't even know if we're doing second chapter, right?
I believe it got confirmed very recently,
Oh,
but it could have
Yeah,
just
I mean,
been an article that was
so
wrong.
I will say there's two instances of basically it being confirmed.
Mhm.
I genuinely don't know because I have not been called yet. And obviously Richard is in the second game.
yeah.
So it's not like, it's not like they're not asking me, but
Mhm.
Kondo kind of basically pseudo confirmed it when he was like, if we don't remake the second one, our fans are going to be like, what the heck, man?
I did
And then
see
also, this is heavy spoilers for Trails in the Sky first chapter. So skip ahead about, I don't know, 10, they're like 30 seconds or so. But at the end of the game, there's also a trailer for second chapter. Which got leaked online because review copies went out early and somebody uploaded it.
Of course.
So there's that. But again, I don't know if there's any official confirmation from Falcom or from Gung Ho or Nisa or Exceed or anybody affiliated with Falcom that second chapter is happening. I would assume with those two pieces of information that it is.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. And then who knows about third? However, I'm still under the camp of Trails in the Sky. The third just goes hard. So I would like for it to stay the third because like first chapter and second chapter, I'm like, okay, the good naming scheme, but the third just goes hard. Like especially in Japan, how it's Trails in the Sky first chapter is known as just Trails in the Sky the first. Like something about the first, the third, it just goes super hard for me. So I hope we keep it as that.
Fingers crossed.
It is pretty cool. I am a big fan of it. I thought it's like when they did Trails of the Sky the first, I'm like, okay, that's dope as hell. I have a kind of a tumultuous relationship with Trails in the Sky the third, because I don't like Kevin.
Yep. Me neither.
Well, actually, everything else happening is really cool.
I honestly, I would argue that Kevin is my favorite protag out of all of them.
So Felix and I are the two people in the entire Trails community who are Kevin's strongest haters.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, Felix also hated Richard, so like his opinion is invalid.
I mean, his head is shaped like a chestnut. All right.
Damn.
I love you, Felix.
You're lying to me.
So
well, I mean, you're also claiming Sarah, so I don't know. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched because Felix has been reposting his old VODs on a second channel, and I watched his like first couple Cold Steel VODs, and his reaction when Sarah popped on the screen was just. That was fun. That was a good time.
He's probably
I don't even remember how I.
Sorry, mommy. Sorry.
I mean, like, yeah, but like, yeah, it's Sarah.
Yeah. Oh my god. All right. So George, you have a pretty long history with the series, the Trails series. You've I think you've played most of the games.
No, actually. So I've actually played very few of the games. I've only played Cold Steel 1, 2, and Daybreak. But I have a very interesting relationship with Trails.
All right.
So it all started back in the year 2015. Where time. I believe that was like peak year, kind of like the peak kind of time when it was first coming out in the West. We had, I believe the original localization for first chapter came out in 2012. Then it was immediately followed up by second chapter, which I believe was within a year or so of that time frame.
Mhm.
And then obviously Cold Steel, well, not obviously, but Cold Steel had actually come out in the West before Third even came out, because I think Third didn't get localized until like 2017.
That
But
feels accurate.
my core friend group was all about it, like huge Trails Kaseki fans. And this was at a time where there were barely any out in the West, and people were just playing like fan translations.
Mhm.
You know, we were being caught up was a twinkle in somebody's eye. So I kept on hearing about this game in the series, and I'm just like, maybe I'll try it. And at that time in my life, I wasn't a huge JRPG player, let alone something as niche as Trails. Like if I was playing JRPGs, it was like Final Fantasy, it was Persona, it was like Dragon Quest, it was Monster Hunter or something, or things that wouldn't even be considered like JRPGs, even though they technically are, things like Dark Souls or something, right? Like games like that. And so it was never super appealing to me, but I kept getting kind of like pressured to try it. Like, hey, you should try this game out. Hey, you should try it out. And then eventually I had moved to Los Angeles. Or actually, no, this was even before I moved to Los Angeles. This was like peak COVID. So like 2020, we're deep in COVID.
Right.
And I had known some actors who had a little group chat that they tossed me into to, just kind of like hang out and have a little bit of camaraderie between voice actors during COVID. And through that group chat, I had met Leona Renee, who many in the Trails community know was the head localizer for the longest time for the series. She had worked on all the Sky games, all the I was about to say Crossbell. No, all the Cold Steel games. I think she even handled Crossbell as well, to be fair. But I think that was mostly Geofront that did that. She I think she became head localizer either Cold Steel 1 or Sky Third. I forget which one, but like Trails is her baby, suffice to say.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that when I had first met her. I was just like, oh, this is another like industry person that I get to hang out with in the middle of all these lockdowns. And I had eventually learned that she was who she was. And I'm like, this is a really weird kind of like my two worlds meeting each other. Like my core friend group, who are not actors at all, they're just some homies of mine, like the homies. And then I met Leona, and I'm just like, well, I got to try this game out now. And so during COVID, I picked up Cold Steel 1 and 2. And I was my goal was to play through at least the entirety of the Cold Steel arc. I knew I probably should have started with Sky FC, but everybody was just like, nah, don't even worry about those games. Like just start with Cold Steel. That's where everybody started. Like start with Cold Steel. And so I played Cold Steel 1 and 2, but during that process, this was over the course of a few years that I had slowly started to try it out. I think I started playing in like 2021 or 2022 or something like that. So it's still somewhat recent for me. But then during that process, Reverie had finished recording and they started on Daybreak. And so I was at an agency at the time, and I still am at the same agency, but they had sent out the auditions for Daybreak. And so now I'm just like, oh, okay. So in the middle of me playing the Cold Steel games, I get the auditions for Daybreak. I audition for that game. I completely blow it. Like, I psyched myself out of like trying to audition for Van, for Aaron. I think the only audition that I even put out was Melchior. Just because I was so nervous. I'm like, oh, this is a person I like. It isn't just like people that I don't know and I'm sending to them and I'm just forgetting about it. It's like literally somebody's going to hear my audition that I know as a friend. I'm just like, and it was one of my first big LA auditions, and I threw an audition out there, and luckily Leona trusted me enough to bring me in as Karabia, one of the holocores in the Daybreak games. And so when I was recording for those games. I'm like, well, let me just start with Daybreak then. Let me say, Cold Steel, you're great. Let me just go to Daybreak though, because I really want to play the game I'm in. So I go to start playing Daybreak when it comes out, which was at this point 2024, I think, right? It was
Roughly,
June
yeah.
2024. So I go to start playing that game, and I want to stream it, and I want to share my experience with everybody, kind of like what I'm doing with Sky right now. But then the video game strike happens. And whenever an acting strike happens, you're not allowed to promote any content, because it's part of the job. It's like the whole point of a strike is to withhold work and stuff like that. And so because I was in those games, it is considered promotion to stream it on Twitch. If I wasn't in the games, great, fantastic, but because I was in the series, it is considered promotion for the series, and so I had to stop it. I'm like, well, now I'm just I don't even want to play them anymore because I'm so sad. And obviously we're going through the strike at the time, but then in the middle of the strike, some games had permission to continue to hold auditions if they had signed what was called an interim agreement, which is basically saying hey, union, we agree to all your terms. Let us produce our game. And so Trails in the Sky had the auditions happen during the strike, and they had signed all the paperwork and all this stuff to keep it running. And then I had auditioned for this. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna get this, but let me just throw an audition out there. And then it turns out they cast me for Richard. And now I'm like, well, I guess I have to start with this game now. It's the first in the series. And so it's been a very weird and interesting journey, but I will say, at the very least, with the combined knowledge of everything that I've learned secondhand from Leona, from my core friend group, and also doing all the research that I did for Richard, I watched Let's Plays of the first two games in the series. I ended up watching like fan breakdowns of the entire series. I was familiar with Cold Steel already, but I went and learned a bit more about 3, 4, and Reverie. I would say Crossbell is kind of the only area that I'm not super knowledgeable in. And then obviously Daybreak 1 and 2 I'm familiar with because I worked on them. So at the very least, I have a pretty good skeleton of the series. I won't claim to know know it deeply and in and out like crazy, but I know kind of the general story and the skeleton, and I'm very excited to finally, officially, I swear nothing will get in my way this time, start the series from scratch with Trails in the Sky first chapter, the remake. And then I will go through and I'm going to be playing all the games on stream for everybody.
Good luck.
That's incredible. Yeah.
That is kind of my story with the series. But the one other thing that kind of keeps it a little close to the chest for me personally is it was when I got cast in Daybreak. It was at a time where I was very unsure of myself, and didn't know if I was going to make it in this industry. I had just moved to Los Angeles. I kind of threw everything behind. I did the bad thing of jumping in with no plan B. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And then, that was the very first game that I got cast in when I moved here. And it was what allowed me to get my SAG card, which, regardless of how any fan or anybody else feels about the union, it's still a very big accomplishment for an actor to become part of the big acting union, because it's very hard to get into.
I'm giving you your flowers on that for sure.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, but that's that it was a very, very, very big thing for me for a multitude of reasons. But regardless of how many or how few games I played, the series will always have a very, very, very special place in my heart, because it saved me in many ways. And so I'm very excited to share my journey with everybody. But suffice to say, that's my journey with Trails.
That's incredible, actually. Yeah. I'm So in Daybreak, I think
Mhm.
I at least from my notes, and you can definitely correct me. I have you listed as you voiced the Hollow Core Caribia.
Mm-hmm.
Karabia. Yeah,
Carabia. All right, I
So
can't pronounce anything. So that's
for
fair.
those games, so for those games, you know how in Cold Steel you have the master quartz,
Mhm.
right? Which kind of changed the formula for how quartz work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in Daybreak, they kind of change it a little bit again, not a whole lot, but the hollow cores are basically those games' versions of master quartz. And in those games, not only do you have like the master quartz or the master quartz equivalent, which are the hollow cores, but the hollow cores also have built-in AI, kind of like Siri, right? Where they talk to you about like, you know, moves that you have available, or, you know, if there's treasure nearby, or, you know, if your S boost is available, or your S crafts and things like that. Like it basically helps you. It's kind of like the best comparison I could give is like Ghost in Destiny, you know, that kind of comparison.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or you know, I can't, or like you know, your little kind of fairy guide, and like
I've been comparing
Zelda or
them to
something.
personas, basically. They're like a
Yeah,
persona.
that's
Not quite, but like it's
Not quite, but
it's a close enough
could
equivalent.
see. I could see that vision, yeah. But you know, they're just like your little companion that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily contribute to the story, but like is telling you, you know, gameplay wise what your options are.
Mhm.
And so, you know, doing that was very fun. And also too, in Daybreak, at least for the English dub, it's just for a little NPC, you know, like dude that you beat up throughout the game. But I will say I do have the very first spoken line in that game, which is really cool. It's a little
Ooh.
fun fact, but it's cool. So the very
Wait,
first thing that you hear in the game is my voice talking to you.
That
in
is
the
so
very first
cool.
scene before they even introduce the main
sewer?
character. Yeah, in the sewer. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's incredible. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like I wasn't the mafia guys, I was the little
Yeah.
thugs. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's amazing. Yeah, it just has
Yeah.
citizen listed. So I was like, I didn't know. I'm like, that could be anyone.
Right.
Yeah, you know, that's the generic like you did additional voices for this game kind of role.
Yep.
But yeah.
Wow.
And you see those same group of thugs all throughout the first game too. So.
Yeah, they've get
Oh.
reused a lot. It's kind of
Yep.
funny.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
so like anytime you see those little thugs, they don't have names, but anytime you see those thugs, I'm always that blue-haired one.
Yo.
Oh, okay. I know exactly who you're talking about. That guy's great.
Yeah.
Yo,
All right.
I'm
also-
skipping.
He's a thug.
I'm
He's
skipping
a
the rest
dude
of
that you beat up.
4.
He's a red shirt, but it's fine.
I'm skipping. I'm skipping 4. I'm skipping Reverie. I'm jumping right in. There's no way.
Dude, Daybreak.
Don't do that.
Daybreak is a great place to start your Trails journey. You heard it here. One of my favorite things that I've ever gotten to do related to Trails was, and this is fun fact, actual factual, NISA video game company sponsored thing that we did is I had my friend Zig start with Reverie. She'd never played a Trails game before. I'm just like, what if you played the last one?
Right.
And then I got NISA Video Game Company to pay for the game code
Yeah.
to
Oh
make
my
the
God.
content on it.
Truly amazing.
For Reverie?
For
Reverie. You're
Reverie.
saying this is, oh my goodness. That is like
Um,
the actual that by far that is the actual worst place to start.
Yeah, but it has
Reverie
Wazzy in
is
it.
that game that you quite literally have to know every single game that came before it to understand.
Yep, and that's why it was good. That's called good content.
There's no way. I remember when you were doing that though, and I could not
Oh
believe
my
it.
god.
She walked away just being mildly obsessed with Wazzy Hemisphere, which, like, you know what? That's fair.
Look, Wazzy be Wazzy, you know?
Yeah.
Yo.
Wazzy Hemisphere is cool. Lots of people really liked fishing, and
What?
yeah.
Don't you
Turns
come in here
out
and lie
like
to me.
every Trails Pro tag fishes
Ah,
except
Trails.
for Kevin.
Well,
maybe
Kevin is too busy, being a saint.
I might have to change my mind on Kevin
He's
if
too
he
busy
doesn't
with the
fish.
church, bro.
That's you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, man, truly is devoted.
So before we get on to talking more about Trails, I do want to talk about some of your other roles that you've done as well. So you said that Daybreak
Okay.
was one of your first big ones, right?
So Daybreak was one of the first games I worked on when I moved to LA. But before I had moved to LA,
Mm-hmm.
I had done some anime because I had lived in Dallas, Texas, or Fort Worth, technically, but DFW, the big city in Texas. Before I had moved to LA, so I had done some anime. There was a show that I was in that seems to be fairly popular called To Love Ru. It's one of those types of shows. Very anime.
The most anime to ever anime.
Well, it's either you're into ecchi shows or you're not.
Yeah.
So I had done some work on that. I'd done some work for a couple of other anime, nothing super notable. But one of the games that I had a chance to work on before moving to LA was a game called Smite, which is like a MOBA similar to like League of Legends or something.
Yeah. You were one of hold on, I wrote down how to pronounce this. Nerja's alternate skins?
Naja.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird because it looks like Neja or Naja or something, but it's actually technically pronounced Naja.
Okay.
But I was and Smite is one of those games where instead of keeping the same person for every single skin of a character, they get somebody new for the most part. So basically every different skin of a character is almost like a completely different character.
That's cool.
And so Naja was one of the characters that I got to voice, which was fun. Doing that session was super, super fun. And I'd love to do like another MOBA, like League of Legends. Hit me up. I'd love to work with you.
Hey, Riot Video Game Company, hire the boy.
Yeah, Riot, hit me up, bro. Like I play League of Legends and I play TFT obsessively. So but Trails Through Daybreak was the first game that I got to work on moving to LA. I worked on Daybreak 1 and Daybreak 2. And the other big one that I got to work on besides Trails was Street Fighter 6, which was really fun for sure. But Richard is definitely my first big role though. Like most everything else that I've worked on has kind of been like NPC side characters, beat 'em ups, type stuff.
I did want to just shout out for a brief moment that you were Joe Higashi in the Fatal Fury 2 anime.
Yo, that blew my mind when I saw
Fatal
it.
Fury OVAs.
Yeah.
In the OVAs when they came back and got redubbed, I did get to voice Joe Higashi, which was really cool.
Yeah, we went back and
those
listened to the clips, and like I was like, whoa, I can't believe that's the same guy. Like I know that guy. Unreal.
Yeah, no, that was a fun experience too. Like that was one of the anime that I was a bit more proud of at the time when I recorded it for sure. And then of course, the fan favorites that everybody still is baffled by that I got a chance to work on was the Hoyo games, Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah.
I got to work on those games as well, which was definitely a fun experience for sure.
You are in one of my favorite character side stories, Noel's. I had to dig around. I'm like, wait, who is this Henning guy? And I'm like, I remember this.
Yes,
story.
Yeah, that was what I really loved about doing Genshin specifically is at the time, that was a very, very, very early patch of the game. Like I want to say it was like 1.2 or 1.3 of the game, like super early.
Yeah.
And for the most part, everybody that was in that game was from Los Angeles. I think actually everybody that was in that game was from Los Angeles at that point. They didn't have any out of state people. And at the time I was still living in Texas. This was like I think the end of 2020 when the game like basically first came out. I think I recorded that in either December of 2020 or January of 2021. I forget exactly. So quite a while ago, and I still kind of hold it as a small badge of honor that I was one of the first, if not the first, non-LA people to be in that game. I had luckily, and please don't do this, don't do what I did, but I had reached out to the director on LinkedIn of all places, and I was just like, hey, here's my resume. I have a home studio. I would love to work with you guys. I would appreciate if you give me a shot. And I must have done something right, because he had responded back and was just like, yeah, come on, we'll have you in for something. And I'm like, that's awesome. So that was pretty cool for sure.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's awesome. So do you have any like on-screen experience, like live action kind of stuff, or even theater?
Nothing that I could ever track down because I really don't remember, but I have done like on camera / like theater stuff before. Like, when I was growing up, I was like I was part of the theater program in my school.
Mm-hmm.
So I did do a little bit of theater when I was still in like the public school system, like, because I did a little bit of private school too. But I've also done on camera before because very, very long time ago, not anytime recent, but I had in my teen years, or in a portion of my teen years at the very least, I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which at the time, not as much anymore, but at the time was a really big filming town. Like they did Batman there. They've done plenty of movies there, like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. They had filmed there, and a bunch of other stuff. Like they did like some of the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher stuff in Pittsburgh. I think it was something to do with the tax breaks or something. So at the time, filming there was really big, and so I got the chance to do like extra work and on camera commercials and stuff like that. A little bit of it for a few years, and so I do have some on camera experience too. But like I'm also as much as I joke that I'm just a dude that does funny voices, I am like a trained actor as well. I've studied under many teachers. Like I know Meisner technique and stuff like that. So
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also done a lot of like theater acting through like high school, college. I've done like community theater, been trained as well. So that's actually really cool to hear that. So do you have like a preference between doing the voice acting or would you like to do more live stuff?
I'm very satisfied with doing just voiceover. I personally am not a huge fan of doing on camera. Not that it's not enjoyable, but some of the business side of it can be a little bit more frustrating than voiceover. So I'm not a huge fan of that part of it. And I have plenty of like on camera friends as well that would probably agree with that statement, that it can be very, very, very annoying. And like with any job, don't get me wrong, because this is, at the end of the day, it is a job as much as it's a career and a dream. But like, everybody has gripes about their job. So like, I'm not going to say that it's not still super awesome that we get to do what we do, but when you genuinely do it as your 9 to 5 and what pays the bills, you tend to have some gripes with it every once in a while,
for sure.
But voiceover is definitely a lot more fun. I very much enjoy, the reason why I wanted to become an actor in the first place was to do voiceover, because I really enjoyed cartoons, anime, video games. I loved anime before I even knew what anime was. I thought it was just the funny Saturday morning cartoons that were on 4Kids or on WB, I guess is where 4Kids was airing at the time, before WB became like I forget what the channel is now. CW, yeah.
Interesting.
It was like WB Kids or whatever, or the WB channel before it became CW.
Yeah, and like Saturday morning, you had like the WB kids, and then
you had like
you'd have to
the
swap over to
Yu-Gi-Ohs.
Fox Kids for like the other good shows, like halfway through.
That is so
It was like,
interesting.
it was all the same stuff, right? It was like the Yu-Gi-Oh, the
Yeah.
Pokemon, the Digimon, the Beyblade, like all that stuff. And so that's what I enjoyed, and that's honestly what I want to continue to pursue, because for me, at the end of the day, I have two big goals when I am doing voiceover, and that is to tell stories to hopefully eventually or to help people get through whatever the heck they're getting through in life, because that's what it did for me. And slash hopefully inspire them to pursue voiceover or acting in general as well as a form of expression. And the other goal is just that I get to brag about it to my friends.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm definitely not the type that wants to be famous or wants to be popular, to the masses. But at least to my core friend group, I'll be like, yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
But those are kind of like my two big goals. But honestly, the main reason that I even want to do this in the first place is really just I want to be a part of the things that help people get through whatever it is that they're dealing with, because anime and video games and cartoons were always my escape growing up, and to be a part of that for somebody else is such a blessing, because not many people can say that they get to make funny voices in a padded room all day and not be considered crazy.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. Outside of like trails specifically, do you have any like upcoming games or roles even that you would be really excited to work on, or even games that you're excited to play?
So I can't talk about it. I can't talk about anything that I have upcoming that isn't already announced because of NDAs.
Of course.
No, that makes perfect sense.
I do have some things cooking, is all I can say.
Exciting.
So definitely keep an eye out on my socials, because trust me, when those get to come out, I will be blasting them like crazy.
Oh,
His links for the socials are in the doobly doo.
But as for games that I'm excited to play when they come out, I mean, there's obviously Trails, which I'm playing at this point. It's already out, but I think my big there's a few games that I am neglecting because Trails just came out, that just recently came out, like the Metal Gear Solid remake.
yeah.
Is a game that I've already put a few hours into and is amazing. Borderlands 4 just came out, which is also extremely fun. Like I love Borderlands, so that just came out.
Games. They're so good.
But my most anticipated game is two games.
Ooh.
Resident Evil 9, because I'm a huge Capcom nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love basically all of Capcom's IPs. I love Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Ace Attorney. I'm huge into those games, and so when Resident Evil 9 drops, I am going to lose my mind. But then the other one is Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem, I'm very excited to play. I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan.
Yeah.
But it's slowly becoming part of my kind of Rolodex of things. Like I played through Awakening, which was amazing, and I want to eventually get around to Three Houses. And I know I'm going to have to play Three Houses if I want to understand this new Fire Emblem coming out, because
yeah, that's what it looks like.
Isn't it supposed to be like a sequel?
It seems like it. Like all signs point to that being the case. Yeah.
So
I need to play Three Houses still.
I hope I can catch up with some of the more recent ones, but my time with Awakening was fantastic. Like I love those, like those interactions with the two main, which were I'm trying to remember their names. I literally just played this game a couple of months ago. I can't even remember their names. Robin. which, funnily enough, Robin was voiced by the original voice actor for Colonel Richard from the original Sky Games, David Vincent. So it was really funny when I was doing my playthrough of that I got to hear his voice and kind of study it a little bit, which was it was cool. But yeah, it was what was it? It was Robin and not Marth. Those are from the original games.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
still from Awakening or
from Awakening? Yeah.
Crom was the Marth-like.
Crom, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like the Marth descendant.
Yes.
Yeah, and then of course there was technically Marth was in that game, sort of.
Yeah, Lucina.
Yeah, but that was Lucina. Yeah. But I'm really excited for Resident Evil 9 and for Fire Emblem, because that'll be the reason that I buy a Switch 2.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can start bullying you into playing some Mario Kart.
Oh no.
Maybe I will say I'm probably more incentivized to pick up like the proper like the I really want to try the Mario RPGs.
Oh, okay, yeah, you will not be disappointed. Yeah. Paper Mario.
Like there was there's like the regular ones, and then there's like the Rabid one too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rabid Kingdom or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are closer to like an XCOM style game, I think, than an RPG.
Yes.
Which is insane to just say a Super Mario XCOM game.
Yeah, and then of course, I do eventually want to get around to trying the East games too.
Nice, yeah.
Being Falcom and all. I dabbled a little bit with East 8 when it first came out, but
I love that game. It's the only one of those games that I have played, and I loved every minute of it.
Nice.
I'm scared to dive in.
Yeah. East is definitely, and I think you can get it on other platforms too, but like I just remember having it on the Switch. So I definitely want to try that as well.
I think especially with the remakes, most of them are out on most consoles. Kind of like how Trails has slowly been getting percolated out to the different consoles. It's no longer just kind of locked to PC, or if you happen to still have a Vita.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Honestly, I think the coolest thing about them is just like I know they got like East got that like remaster recently. The East 10 like Proud Nordics, I think it was what it was called. Was the re-release. Like Falcom loves their games, that's for sure, because they'll just like re-release them on multiple platforms, which is super awesome.
Indeed. Yeah, it's really nice that they do that.
Yeah, I actually have a question for you, George. It might be the second most burning question you'll be asked today. Fujiwara tofu. Where did that come from?
Fujiwara tofu. Where did I get that from? From one of my favorite anime of all time, Initial D. For those who don't know, to need some context, my Discord name on Discord is Fujiwara Tofu, and that started I want to say a few years ago. So I had varying, I change my Discord name every so often, but I think I'm sticking with this one because a few years ago I was on a website that basically tells you when taken summoner names on League of Legends are becoming available. I think the way it works on that game is basically if you haven't logged in for X amount of days, I forget how long it is, but like if you're basically an inactive user, they will allow somebody to change to your name if they pay for it within the client, which is with free currency. It's not like it costs like money, but you can change your username on that game. And I saw on this website one of the first names that was popping up that like was available to take was Fujiwara Tofu, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to take this name because I love Initial D. Like, and if you right click on my profile on Discord, you'll see it's all like Initial D theme. Like I have the GIF of the car drifting. I have literally a quote from the dub as my like about me section. Like I love Initial D. It was honestly, and this is also another fun fact, it was the show that I was watching the exact time I had my aha moment of, I think I want to be a voice actor for the rest of my life.
That is awesome.
So I love, and I will sing its praise to the moon and back, Initial D. And that's where that username comes from, because obviously the main character's name is Takumi Fujiwara, from the Fujiwara Tofu Shop, and you know, his Panda Trueno is his weapon of choice for racing cars, and it's the Fujiwara Tofu car. So yeah, that's where that comes from.
That's great. Actually, I'm looking at the profile. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's
so good.
All right, I got one more question before we move on to our final segment. All right, and this one's a big one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Have you played critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with a free trial that lets you play up to level 70 with unlimited playtime and includes the award-winning expansions Heavensward and Shadowbringers?
Stormblood, but yes.
He's in there.
Dude. Wait, it's Stormblood?
I mean, I understand you were testing me, but I have played the game, yes.
Excellent.
I played. I will say I don't play anymore. I kind of faded off. I came back for a little last hurrah for the end of Shadowbringers and the beginning of Endwalker. But I kind of stopped playing around the end of Stormblood just for mental health sake.
Yeah,
fair.
I do play that. Yeah, I was at the time when I was playing, I was a huge endgame player. So this was before all the benefits that everybody has now, like cross world and cross data center and stuff like that. This was when you were limited to just playing with the people on your world, and that was it. And so, and that was obviously through the majority or through the entirety of the original Heavensward, and then for the majority, I believe, of Stormblood. I think when I stopped playing heavily, they had just recently kind of introduced cross world, where you had to go to like, you know, the Aetheryte and choose a world to kind of hop in for a bit. But so I was on Gilgamesh. Which if anybody who knows the game knows, that's where all the end game players went, with the exception of like Balmung, which was, you know, a grandfathered, like it was a legacy server, so you can only be on that server if you were in playing the original Final Fantasy XIV before it relaunched. So I was on Gilgamesh, and that's where like some of the biggest content creators are or were, like, you know, Mr. Happy and all that. And so I had a lot of people parsing me. And it wasn't necessarily the greatest for mental health.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're not top 90th percentile. Get out of my party. And I was playing Ninja too, which at the time was one of the hardest classes, you know, especially just due to sheer like ping and latency issues, you know, doing the jutsus and everything. But I will say, through all the gripes that I had with that game, I absolutely did enjoy my time, and doing the content was fantastic. Like doing the extremes and the savages, and you know, going through the story and all that. It was a blast for sure. And like, even there was a point where I even took up crafting for a little while, and just sitting around in like Limsa with all the bards and all the people cosplaying and stuff like that, and just you know, watching them do their thing while I'm just sitting there with my macro set up to do crafting was super fun.
I am personally starting on Final Fantasy XIV. I'm starting my journey on that game, and I just I have my first combat class. I got monk up to level 50. I'm working my way through a realm reborn, but
You
all
just
of
try
my
and have people
crafting
catch these
classes.
hands?
Yeah. Look, I woke up and I wanted to punch God, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, time for ultra violence.
Yeah. But I also have all of my crafter classes above 50 because I decided to craft my level 50 gear for my monk. Which was insane. Absolutely took me 2 weeks. It was an insane idea, but I've enjoyed it very much. I'm so glad that you actually have played this game. This is a much better answer than I was actually expecting.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I'm a nerd just like you guys. Like, I'm a gamer. I play games.
What?
I watch anime. Like, you know, I'm not just doing the thing, you know, but I'm a part of the thing.
How dare you?
Unheard of.
I know, right? I've never seen such amazing nerdosity. Let's talk a little bit about trails. I think that's a thing we should probably talk about.
That's fair.
Why does Cassius suck?
How gosh darn dare you say anything ill of Cassius in my presence? I will morning moon you, goddammit.
You won't.
I'll do it.
No, you won't.
Oh no, that
He's
does
not
like
gonna do
all
it.
the damage.
Sakura Bloom.
Words to make people instantly regret decisions.
For real. Yeah, no, Cassius Braid is the GOAT. How dare you say anything ill of the homie?
Cassius is one of those characters that I've always had a love-hate relationship with because he's objectively a very cool guy.
Oh, yes.
However, he does decide at one point that it is important, while it is important to rescue his children from a, situation, he does have to do it while making the most dramatic possible entrance.
Yes.
I mean, look, I think it just comes with the territory of being a divine blade because, like, think of every single divine blade we have in the series as of right now.
Right.
They are all aura farmers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
You're not wrong.
And maybe I'm a hater when I say this. I feel like the only one who is not very successful in doing that at a pretty early point after they're introduced would be Arios. At least with my experience with him so far.
Well, that's because Arios is just depressed.
He's got to be what it is.
He's just a sad man.
Yeah, he's just very depresso, and yeah, I think his depresso gets in the way of aura farming. I think
sense.
I think that's one of the few things that like is an immediate weakness to any like quality aura farmer is if you're depressed. So, but like literally all of the 8, and not even just the divine blades, but all of the 8 leaves users are aura farmers. Even Annalise,
she is
to a certain extent, be aura farming, but like in the form of cuteness.
Right.
I love Annalise so much.
Yeah, I miss her.
I miss her too. I can't wait to actually get more into this.
I cannot wait for people to get to spoiler warning for Trails in the Sky first chapter. And if you haven't played it or don't know anything about it, then I don't know, skip ahead a little bit.
We should definitely have spoiler warnings at the front of this episode.
Sure.
Yeah. But I'll
make sure that's there.
I cannot wait for people to get to Richard's fight. Because the animations in this game are gorgeous. And
I am excited.
I can confidently say now that the game is out, we didn't do Morning Moon. Obviously, that's a Sky Third thing.
Yes.
But the Afterglow Smasher is sick. And even all of his other moves, not even the S-crafts, but all of his moves are literally peak. He is the biggest aura farmer. And then like even after the fight, when the Reverie comes out and they're getting all beat up by the Reverie and he's like, I'll save you. Like that entire thing I got to see when I was recording for the game. Because it was ADR, so we had to like match the mouth movements and everything and the timing. And I got to see that entire animation from when he's fighting off the reverie to when he's, getting like crushed by its like claw or its hand or whatever.
Right.
And all of that, like this man is just aura farming, and something about Morning Moon specifically, like that form is just extra aura farm. Like, don't get me wrong, Void with Reen is super cool. Like Breaking Dawn is definitely by far one of the coolest S-crafts in the entire series. But like, because it's a drawing technique, it's so Virgil coded, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, literally the animations for Afterglow Smasher in this game is just straight up just the judgment cut. Like from Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
So like it's so cool. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. And if you guys are curious, I could give you guys a video of it if you aren't getting to the game right away. But it's just sick. Like all of them. Like, and even when Cassius comes in afterwards, like this man's aura farming too. Like he's just coming in and just like beating the shit out of the reverie.
Right.
There's only so much aura in a room. You can't have two guys repeating aura farming.
Right.
Well, at that point, Richard was knocked out. Like he was toast from the reverie. So like, there's nothing, that he's no longer farming the aura. That goes straight to Cassius.
Not that there was any room to like ever doubt you on that, but I fully take you at your word and then some for the like just love that they put into the animations for various like cutscenes and moves and everything. Cause
oh my God.
Like I was watching and you were there, but we were watching Joe after work play some of the demo. And so I saw him use just the early crafts of Pummel. And I think Joshua has like dual slash or something. Right. And I was like, whoa, wait, this is gorgeous.
Let me tell you, the animations on Sherazard.
Oh yes, yo! I'm so excited to see that because like
just like immediately I just think of like the Superman with his tongue out gif, like.
Yo, yeah, because I did think about that too when I pre-release and everything because I was like, oh yeah, Shara's S-craft, like she just kind of walked toward the screen and said, like someone's being naughty, and I was like, did they bring that back? Like,
oh yeah, and then
I can't wait.
Let me just say, Jello.
Oh, I'm so ready.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. All joking aside, but with the Cassius hate, who would you say is your favorite overall Trails character aside from Richard?
So aside from Richard, with no bias, I would say personally so coming from a storyteller background, I absolutely love Kevin and the story that he is told. And I know you guys are Kevin haters.
It's fine.
But Kevin is fantastic.
Yeah.
Van is fantastic.
Can't wait to meet him.
Crow is fantastic and his whole story. Rufus is fantastic and his whole story.
Ooh.
But I would say probably just my favorite off of just merit alone. Ooh.
Yeah,
it's a rough one.
I mean, it's tough, but I'm gonna go with those are like the kind of the easy answers that I threw out. But I'll say on top of those characters, my favorite, just from a lore aspect, probably Yoon Kafai.
Really? That's cool.
That's really interesting.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so easy to say, a character that has been kind of the focus or part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, visually definitely is one of your favorite characters,
of course.
But the amount of like lore that there is for Yoon Kafai to the point where we haven't really seen him.
Yeah.
And he still has all of this lore, like you can't top that, right? Like again, all of those other characters super easy. I mean, Kevin and Van, they were literally protagonists of games,
right?
Crow is obviously a fan favorite, not only just because he's cool, but also because he's hot. And then Rufus, kind of the same reasons.
Yeah.
But
he's
like,
very
so it's
pretty.
Really, yeah, like it's really easy. And I mean, even Estelle, Agnes from Daybreak is a great character. I would say Emma from the Cold Steel series. Obviously, that character is fantastic.
I love Emma.
Yeah.
Like, but like Yoon Ka-fai has done so much while being seen so little. It's just super. Like it's so intriguing for when that character will appear again, whenever that may be.
Yeah.
So I would say Yoon Ka-fai.
Neat.
That's
and
really cool.
I personally, I've talked about this before publicly, but I do have some crack theories when it comes to Yoon Ka-fai and the grand, like the grand plot of the series.
Oh, really?
And I'll go briefly into it because it's kind of spoiler filled for Daybreak and Horizon and everything. But I will say that I think there's a reason we haven't seen Yoon Ka-fai, and I think it's because he is trying to figure out more about the beyond. And I think being an 8 Leaves user is more than just mastering, or being a Divine Blade and being an 8 Leaves user is more than just about mastering a sword form and mastering a martial art. But I think at its core and by its design, it is ancient. It is pre-orbital collapse.
Yeah.
It is pre, everything pre, modern civilization. It is from the time of the Septarians and from the time of, the archaisms and all these things that we know of. I think it is somehow connected, deeply rooted to the world. You have to be of mind, body, and spirit, similar to Buddhism, to master that. And I think when you do that, you are connecting yourself deeper to the world than anybody else can possibly understand.
That makes sense.
And so I think that Yoon Ka-fai is discovering secrets of Zemuria and even the beyond through the 8 Leaves One Blade form and through his travels and his journeys that will all make sense at the end.
Yeah.
Whenever that is.
That is a very exciting idea. Wow. I like that.
I having a little bit more of the knowledge past where Felix is. Yeah, I can see I'm picking up what you're putting down here. I think I think you're onto something.
I'm pretty sure I'm onto something because there's literally an 8 Leaves One Blade user that is prominent in every single arc.
Yes.
Every single arc.
Yes.
And it can't be just a sword form. It can't be something that is renowned of just being like, oh yeah, this is this sword form that is different from what the Arsaids use. It's it's Eastern and it's legendary and all this stuff. And being a Divine Blade is of such note that if you are the title of a Divine Blade, everybody around the world knows who you are. Like, it can't be just that. Like, it has to be more than that. It has to be more than that for how prominently it's featured throughout the game. And so I think being an 8 Leaves user and being specifically a Divine Blade, which I do think with the next time we see Richard, whenever that may be, because he is going to come back, in my personal opinion, I think he will be a Divine Blade by the time we see him, because we don't have a Divine Blade of the Morning Moon. We don't.
Right.
That's true.
And I think we'll see him as a Divine Blade. I think we'll see all of the 8 Leaves users come back as like our core party. And obviously everybody's going to come back for the finale. I think that's kind of a given, but like, I think by the time we get to the end of the game, the 8 Leaves and the Divine Blades are going to be very significant to the plot.
That's exciting.
And so what Yoon Ka-fai is doing, I think Yoon Ka-fai is with Cassius and with Richard as we speak. And that's what they've been doing together. There's a reason why RNA keeps getting brought up time and time again. Even, we haven't seen Richard since Sky Third, but like RNA and Richard keep getting brought up.
That's
Cassius keeps getting brought up. Yoon Ka-fai keeps getting brought up. They're doing something. Those three are doing something together, because you can't have Cassius without Richard. You can't have Richard without Cassius. You
Mhm.
can't have Richard without Annalise, and you can't have Cassius without Yoon Kafai. Like all of those characters, and especially, with, well, I'm not going to say any more than that, but like those characters are all connected.
Okay.
No, I'm
Yeah.
seeing what you're doing with that. I like this.
Mhm.
See. I'm near the end of Daybreak 1 personally, and there's a lot of insane theories running through my brain, which I assume some will get answered at some point. And it's been like, that's one of my favorite things about Trails is there's so much information, but so many things that just get brought up, ask new questions, so you can end up in these insane conspiracy like brain places. And that's one of the things I really like because everything's connected, because every detail might matter later. Like, you can get into these, like, all right, what insane things can happen?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's one of my favorite series. Really quickly, are there any characters from the main cast of the Trails games that just get under your skin? Anyone that you're just like, you get the icks or something?
Ooh. I mean, Weissman.
Yeah,
That's an easy answer. Like,
Yeah,
that man is
that's
despicable.
actually super fair. Yeah,
like Weissman, like, fuck that man. Get turned to salt.
Right. Nah, get him out of there.
Salted idiot.
Yeah. But I would say Weissman, not in a bad way, but in the just like kind of I feel for you way, but it gets under my skin is Ren.
Oh, yeah.
That's
her story is just like so skin crawling, like just like,
yes,
like, but like in the way of like, I'm so sorry for you. Like I feel like I want to give you a hug. Like, please, like, understand you are loved, but like knowing that story is very skin, like, crawling, like just like, I don't like it. I would say,
oh, go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, I am very interested in if we do get a Sky the Third remake, how they're going to remake her backstory.
Right.
Like, if they're going to keep it 1-to-1 or if they're going to adjust it at all. And because part of the presentation of it was as effective as it was because of kind of the low fidelity of the graphics at the time. And I'm interested, like, if they change it and make it horrifying in a different way.
Right.
I think if their treatment of first chapter, and its remake is anything to go off of, if we end up doing, Sky the Third, I have a feeling that they're probably not going to touch it a whole lot. I would say the visuals might be a little bit, try maybe a bit more like palatable.
Yeah,
is what I'll say. The word I'll use.
Perfectly reasonable way to describe it.
I think the story itself, I don't think they're going to touch it because they really didn't touch anything when it comes to the remake of this game. They tweaked dialogue very, very, very minorly, but all the intention was still 100% the same.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that if they do third, that when it comes to that door and that character, I think they're very much going to leave it as is, because even in the original, things weren't very explicit.
Yes.
They were told in a way that got the message across, gave you that emotional weight that it needed to give without explicitly saying what your mind was already coming to the conclusion to.
Right.
Yeah. It didn't say those exact words and those things. And so I think they're probably going to treat it very similarly.
Yeah, everything I've seen from the Sky the First remake has been like, this is a very faithful remake. and it looks amazing. Like I've just been so excited to play this game.
I need my backlog to stop
Good,
existing.
play it.
Yes, we
Do
both
it, or
need backlogs.
I'll have to, you know, drastic measures might have to be taken if you don't.
Oh, no,
Whoa, wait a
not
minute.
again. All right. I know we're running out of time, but Felix, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, actually, I was curious as to your opinion on Lecter, George. I'm like, how do you right now where I'm at in Cold Steel 4, and I don't know if anything changes later, of course, but he's a character that's shown a lot of promise to me. I feel right, like he was very interesting, kind of leading up to the like many of the events of the Cold Steel arc in particular. And right now where I'm at, I feel like he's fallen flat, and it's like, whoa, like what happened to you? Do you have like any thoughts, feelings on him present day, like with what you know?
I don't really know a whole lot about Lecter. I mean, he was in. I know he was in CS1.
Yeah. Well, briefly, yeah.
But I think he's mostly, isn't he mostly a crossbow character?
He starts in crossbow.
He has a heavy hand in crossbow. And then I do believe you learn quite a bit about him, I think, over the course of Sky's second and third chapters.
I think he's in the later games.
Yeah,
I think he's mostly in Sky third, to my knowledge. I don't know if he's mentioned too much in second chapter. And I will say, I'm specifically keeping myself in the dark about third, just in case we ever get around to it.
Of course. Okay.
Fair.
That's very fair, actually.
You know,
yes.
Because I think to tell Richard's story authentically and honestly.
Yeah.
I think it is best for me to experience it when I see the script.
Yes, of course.
That's
reasonable. Whenever that may be. So I don't really know a whole lot. I mean, I would say I definitely respect the character because, you know, there's also the bias of like, he's also an intelligence division person.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I can't say I know a whole lot about Lecter, but I think from what I have seen, you know, he is definitely very promising. Like I think he's part of like the Genis Royal Academy.
Yep.
I know he's part of the intelligence division for Erebonia, and so like. The character definitely seems interesting, but I definitely need to play the games more to learn more about him.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I think most of his stuff. I'm sorry. No, I think most of his stuff is in games that you haven't played.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, okay.
Unfortunately.
I'm still glad that like with what you have experienced that you still do have that opinion of him though. So like my hope in the character is restored. It was a bit of a follow up. With what you know of the both of us. And obviously what you do know of the Trail series and its wide expanse of characters. If Eric and I here were Trails inserts, right? Who might you assign us to be?
Ooh. Well, Trails inserts as in like yourselves, or which character I would associate the most to each of you guys?
I guess which character. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll start off with you, Felix, because obviously I know you better. I mean, there's a part of me that feels like you give
Ooh.
No, not that. Who is? I'm trying to remember. What's the character's name that's kind of like the pro tag of Reverie? Ash Carbide, right?
Yeah. Oh, really?
I would feel a little bit of Ash.
Okay.
Like there's hints of a couple of different characters. So there's hints of Ash. I would say there's hints of Lloyd a little bit. Big hints of Agate.
No way.
I get a lot of agate off of you. You could be mad aggro. Like you'll.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh no, I see it.
Wow. Listen.
Yeah, like you're hella aggro.
You know what?
So,
You know
so
what? I'm taking it.
I would probably say agate, but I would say I would also say Lloyd as well.
Mhm.
I
Lloyd
will take all
Bannings.
three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's the, you know, yeah, I would go with those three.
Nice.
As for Ari,
Mhm.
ooh,
Yeah.
so you're giving me vibes of like analytical.
Uh-huh.
So there's like a part of me that wants to say, like, I think his name is Sao, like Sao or something like that. The
Shao. The
Shao, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at you. Hey, you boss.
Hayway guy.
Yeah.
There's also like hints of like Machias.
My boy Mark.
Mark.
I had no idea. I had no idea how I was supposed to pronounce his name when we first ran into him, so I just kept calling him Mark, and it just stuck.
I see. Yeah, I would say those two characters probably. Maybe God. No, the first thing that popped into my head was like Weissman before he was Weissman, like Alba.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
no.
Oh my God.
I believe he has it in him.
Maybe.
I mean, man, but you got that like voice too. Like you got kind of a deeper voice. So like I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with those two.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'm trying to think. Maybe Eustace a little bit too. It would be funny, like Machias, but also Eustace. That seems a little.
Yeah.
Like especially
Okay.
like Eustace, like Cold Steel 1 Eustace.
Yeah.
Where he's just like.
I can see this.
Very
yeah.
just like all of you people.
Yeah.
What is wrong with all of you?
Like I'm just existing. I know I'm a noble, but I'm better than you.
I love it. Love it.
God.
I will take this. I'm gonna keep this in mind when it's my time to do some auditions.
I see. All right. Felix, am I missing anything? I feel like I'm always missing something.
No. I actually think we're good. Yeah.
Awesome. Then I want to take one last time and thank you, George, so much for taking the time and chatting with us today. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, and, I appreciate us doing this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll definitely, look to call you back in when I finally gotten through Daybreak.
Well, whenever that may be. I mean, the series might be done by that point.
Shoot.
Damn, you're so true.
At that point, I kind of hope so.
Like, by that point, you might have caught it on like a 50% sale or something.
Okay, wait, hold on. Now we're going too far.
I mean, I understand wanting to stay in the arc that has Sarah for as long as you can milk it, but like, Jesus.
Can you really blame me? Can you really blame me, though?
I mean, look, I could say words right now, but I'm going to refrain.
Oh my God.
That's all I need to hear.
Look, all I know is I use the word milk.
And on that note, everyone, thank you so much for listening. This has been One More for the Road. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.